I want to make this video for anyone that's an appointment setter, even a closer, DM setter, phone setter. I want to make this video specifically for you because I have a good guess to why you're not making the money that you want, you're not in the circles that you want, and you're not being valued the way that you want, right? A little bit of backstory on me. I started out as Jeremy Miner's, one of his first setters. And I was with his company whenever he started at around 200 grand a month. And then I left whenever he was making close to 3 million plus a month, right? And after that, I came in and managed and coached all of Iman Ghazi's sales team and setting teams. I've worked with some of the biggest people in the space in terms of appointment setting. I've placed hundreds of setters and I've coached thousands of them, right? I personally was a setter myself that struggled with the exact same things that I'm about to go over with you guys. And I hope this can hit home for some of you. If you see, I'm in a pretty beautiful area right now within Scottsdale, Arizona. This is actually where Jeremy Miner's office is. I just came back from a dinner with a friend. But I just want to take this time to really just share something that I feel like is quite relatable to a lot of people, right? And this advice isn't going to be something that you never heard of before, and it's not going to be something that's like extremely, thought-provoking, but as humans, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And the issue that I see is that a lot of appointment setters, if you're a DM setter, phone setter, you already know, how to get better. You already know how to, improve your skill sets, but you just need to be reminded of them more than you need to be taught, right? But most importantly, you need to be reminded of one simple thing that is repeated a lot, but I really need you guys to drill into your brain if you want to not only make a lot of money as an appointment setter, but advance in your career. Grow your worth, grow your value, make more money, because who wants to be an appointment setter forever, right? Nobody. So that's my point. I want to teach you guys how to think differently and how you guys can not only succeed more in your appointment setting roles, but also how you guys can also advance in any career that you want, right? If you want to go into management, if you want to go into marketing, if you want to go into a consulting offer, right? Because if you're an appointment setter, and if you've been an appointment setter for any amount of time, you probably know how to run a business better than most business owners. The reason why I know this is because I've been one before, and a lot of the time business owners have no idea what they're doing, respectfully. And people on the ground floor that are appointment setters know how to actually run businesses better than the business owners themselves, right? And the one key to success, guys, the one thing I want you to understand is that you will never out-earn your self-worth. I have struggled for such a long time, and I still struggle with this to this day, of actually being paid what my worth is, right? And that's because of a lot of limiting beliefs of things from my childhood, from, experiences that I've had. And what I see with most appointment setters is that they just do not understand the concept of self-worth, right? And really building themselves to a point where they feel like they earn more opportunities, right? I don't care where you are with your culture or your background or your heritage or your accent or where you live in the world, right? You have the opportunity to make so much more than what you're already making. And that's just simply reminding yourself and working on that self-worth, okay? You will never out-earn it. And if you don't consciously and intentfully work on yourself to understand your own weaknesses and the beliefs that you have and why you have them, you're never going to make more money, right? And that kind of segues into my second point, right? You need to start thinking of yourself as more than just an appointment setter. You see, how I was able to advance so fast within Jeremy Miner's company, and how I was able to advance so fast within, Iman's company, managing his whole team. And I still I'm the sales coach for all of Digital Launchpad, his low ticket community with over 20,000 members. I'm the only sales coach in there right now. Well, I think one just kind of got onboarded, but my point being proven, I have done all this stuff and I still struggle massively with self-worth. I still struggle with massively getting paid for what I deserve, right? And that's a byproduct of me having personal struggles that I want to relate to you guys. Of like, yes, I've made it to the top echelons of appointment setting. I've coached the best teams in the industry. I've worked with some of the biggest people in the space. I have access to the best connections, and I still struggle with self-worth, right? So work on that. You need to be reminded of that more than you need to be taught. Put it on a background on your phone, on your screensaver, every fucking time you open up your phone. We open up our phones hundreds of times a day. Have it written down and verbatim, work on self-worth. Why do I have these beliefs about myself? Why do I think I'm not making enough? Because you'll never out-earn that. I fucking promise you. Secondly, as I mentioned before, you're thinking of your role differently, right? How I was able to advance in all of these roles and have so much success was simply because I thought of my role differently. Now, I like to call this kind of concept being a growth specialist. You can call it whatever you want, right? But because most business owners have no idea what they're doing, it gives you guys an opportunity to not only just be a solid appointment setter, but an observer. Someone that views things as a fly on the wall, right? Like, I was able to advance with Jeremy so fast because I did a lot of things. I did copywriting, I did marketing, I helped out with managing clients, I did customer service. And for a lot of you guys, it does take more time for you guys to do these things on top of your role, right? But take initiative, okay? Take the most important initiatives and the things that you can work on right now in these companies, right? If you're working at a company right now, and if you just view it from an objective lens of, okay, this is where I'm at, I'm an appointment setter, I have this opportunity. How can I make this company more money without me dialing more leads, okay? What is wrong with their marketing? What is wrong with their sales processes, with their closers? Could their copywriting be better? And the thing is, guys, we don't even need to be skilled at any of these things. Run through ChatGPT, learn prompt engineering. How can we improve this business's copywriting? How can we improve their marketing strategy? There's so much opportunity out there, right? And it's so crazy to me that most people do not leverage AI in the way that they could and leverage and think of their roles differently. But at the same time, I've been in your guys' positions before, right? So start thinking of yourself as a growth specialist and not a DM setter or a phone setter, right? Start actually thinking outside the box of like, how could this company become better? Think of yourself as an entrepreneur inside of a business. If you don't know what an entrepreneur is, it's super simple. That means you are a business inside of a business, right? I was able to excel so fast because I've always viewed myself in this way, right? And it's a super practical and a super important concept for you guys to understand, right? Put yourself in the shoes of these businesses like you own them. How can they be better? Because here's the truth. You may not be paid for these ideas. You may not be acknowledged for these ideas. But the fact that you're taking time out of your day to learn these hard skill sets like prompt engineering, copywriting, marketing, it's going to set you up for life. Because now you're going to be able to walk into any business and provide value because you took the time to actually study them, right? And you had someone's business right in front of you that you can do a test sample with, right? They don't have to take your advice. They don't have to implement the stuff you implement, but use these opportunities in the companies that you work for as opportunities to be a growth specialist, to be someone that can add value in multiple ways to businesses, right? And if you do this for months after months after months, you're going to be able to build such a diverse, high-income skill set that you're going to be so valuable in any environment that you walk into that it's going to be absolutely insane. And then that mixed with self-worth and self-confidence and being detached and being confident in your abilities, you guys are going to be set up for life, okay? So what's allowed me to, have so much success in my career and get access to the best opportunities, the best network, yes, I've thought of myself as a growth specialist, but I've also worked so hard on my self-worth, right? Because it doesn't matter how much skill sets I have. If I don't believe that I can provide value and that I'm worth it, then I'm not going to get any success. And I just want you guys to understand this concept so deeply, right? You don't need to learn more skill sets. You don't need to learn more tactics. You guys don't need to, learn different nuanced objection handling or anything. Being good at sales and growing in your career in this online space, 10% of it is getting better at sales. 90% of it is building a diverse skill set that you can use to complement what you're doing and really understanding your self-worth. Because here's the thing. Building your self-worth will not just only make you get paid more and have you, advance in your career with all these different skill sets, but knowing your self-worth will also allow you to perform way better on sales calls. Because if you know your self-worth and if you know your standards and if you have high standards for yourself, you're not going to let other people's bullshit on these calls get through to you. You're not going to believe into their bullshit. You're not going to cave into their objections. You're not going to do anything because you're so congruent with yourself and your own belief system, right? So I just want to share this with you guys, right? Just like this raw, authentic video that I hope adds value to someone. If you guys want to learn more about what we do and how we help setters become growth specialists and advance in their career, there will be a link below to join my community where we have access to weekly calls with us. I appreciate you guys listening.